So it's no secret that the West is infected with a cancer that's probably ultimately going to kill it. And if people don't do something drastic, it's going to happen, I don't know, probably in the next 70 to 100 years. But it'll be locked in somewhere like maybe 50 or 60 from now. And if you look at population projections for Canada, the most recent ones that I heard about is that Canada will be 20% or a quarter, 25% white 100 years from now, both because of massive immigration and because of the birth rates of the people who are not white. And uh, there's two reasons for it. One is that those people come from cultures in which they just have more children and they don't take very good care of them. They just have a lot of them. And then two, when they come to a Western country, the social welfare network helps them take care of all those children that they wouldn't be able to take care of in their home countries. So children who would normally die instead live. And these two things, these two different trends are destroying the demographics of all the Western countries. It's happening in the United States. It's happening in Europe more through immigration than birth rates, but it's basically happening in all Western countries, all white countries, all European descended countries. So I was having a conversation, two conversations with two different people who are kind of like different ways that this stuff is happening. One of them was a female who's, her write up was that she was some kind of biologist. So this is a professional person, this is a well educated person, and she told me that the replacement of white people in white countries is justified because white people replaced indigenous populations in countries like Australia. So you can tell me if that argument makes sense. Because white people replaced Aborigines, then that means that women in Sweden should be raped by Africans and Afghans and Somalis or whatever the hell they've got in Sweden. So if you dig to the bottom of what she's saying, she basically just thinks that since white people are evil and have perpetrated evil on the world, that whatever happens to white people is justified, and that in fact they've got it coming and it's a good thing. I pressed her on a few different points, and she kind of backed off and said that a lot of the stuff just wasn't real. So it's really strange. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. On one hand, she says that a lot of the stuff that's happening to white people isn't happening, like the South African genocide. They would just say that that's just fake. It's just not real. But if it was real, it would be okay because of what white people did to non-white people. So that's one problem. That mentality is one problem, and I don't think we can do anything about it. I think it's probably good to talk to those people just to understand where they're coming from, and it probably would be good for the centrists to see you talking to those kind of people so that their ideas get exposed and the normal people can look and say, oh my God, they really think white genocide's okay. So don't just like write them off entirely, but just I don't think you're going to try to convince. I don't think you're going to succeed in convincing them. Basically, the other person that I was talking to was a white male, and I don't know his background or anything, but he said that in Britain, for example, where I guess he lives, the demographic replacement of native white British is something that you just can't do anything about because the politicians won't stop immigration and the people who are coming in are having way more children. So I called him a defeatist, and he said he's not a defeatist, he just understands he can't do anything about it. It's like, man, that's the definition of being a defeatist. If you looked at Britain in the 1930s and you told all those people that you were going to open up citizenship to people from all over the world who historically had never lived in Britain before, they would probably laugh in your face and tell you it was ridiculous. So saying today that we might somehow stop immigration and reverse immigration, even though it could seem equally ridiculous, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. Just got to change some people's minds. So that guy took the position that you can't do anything about anything. You just have to sit back and let it happen, even if you don't like it. So those are two, I think, of the most dangerous types of mentalities that are going to bring about the destruction of the West. And if you can think of any more, I'd be happy to hear them. But I think those are two good archetypes, two good examples of what a lot of people out there do think. One, that whites are evil, and whatever is happening to them, they deserve. Whatever's bad that's happening to them, they deserve. Which is really basically the cultural Marxist proposition that European countries should be multiculturalized to the point where whites are probably 30% of the population, and all non-white countries should stay, homogenous in their non-white populations because of colonialism and whatever else whites have done. That's basically just pure cultural Marxism carried to its conclusion. But the other guy is like the mainstream baby boomer conservative thing, which is well, maybe I don't really like it, but I'm not going to do a damn thing about it. I'm just going to ride this out until I die, and then everything's it's just going to have to figure it out for itself. The second one, I think we could actually probably change some of those minds, especially by showing them the graphic and really disgusting stuff. Like all the Colin Flaherty, is that his name? The dude who reports on black crime. I can't remember, Colin something or other. But if you show them that, you might change a few of their minds and radicalize them. And I think that that would be a good thing to do. Thank you for your time.